Hey everyone, my name's Gunther and welcome back to another episode of Planet Zoo. In our last episode, we've started construction on our Arctic area, and you can see that it's kind of, from afar away, it doesn't look half bad, although I'm a little unhappy with the rock wall that we created, so we might want to go back and eventually relook at that. But today, I think today we have an important matter to attend. Specifically, something that I've gotten quite a few comments about is the status of our Arctic foxes. As it stands right now, they are not quite happy. In fact, we actually have way too many, so we'll need to figure that out. But the idea behind it is we are going to move our Arctic foxes from their current exhibit over to a new exhibit that we're going to custom build for them. Now, there's a few things that we have to keep in mind when we think about this. One, this was our first exhibit. In fact, we've pigeonholed ourselves into this, and I've done a lot of thinking. And I know originally I'd said that I was going to create one bigger exhibit right here and bridge them together. I've changed my mind though. I'm a huge fan of a nice, amazing walkway. So as you enter your zoo, you're going to see this absolutely amazing open area with lots of, plants, areas to sit down. It's meant to entice you. Oh, look at that. We have a protester and we know exactly where they're coming from. So we're going to fix that today. But as I'm going back to it, we are going to also redevelop this when we have a chance. Part of what's holding us back right now is, of course, we have our black-tailed, if I'm not mistaken, these are prairie dogs. We do have quite a few, though. We'll need to figure that out. Now, we have a few options. We could release them all into the wild and then repurpose this area. As a conservation society, I would assume that releasing animals back into the wild where we can is actually a good idea. That helps us to ensure that the population is healthy, and we can also make sure that we start focusing our attention on other animals that maybe require more assistance. Alternatively, black-tailed prairie dogs actually, they're cool to hang out with our American bisons, which is kind of interesting. So maybe we just add our black-tailed prairie dogs into our bison enclosure and create a more cohesive area. And I think that wouldn't be a bad idea either. So we have a few options available to us, and we may just do that. And it's time for us to figure that out. But alas, we cannot do any of that until we start building our Arctic fox exhibit. So today I've definitely looked and I've done some research, and I have an idea of what I want to do. I have a few ideas mulling around in my head, and I'm thinking what I want to do, and something I'm a huge fan of are these underground cave-like viewing galleries. And I remember, going back to the Toronto Zoo, the lion exhibit actually has this where you go into like a man-made cave, and you have some glass viewing points where you can look into the exhibit and you can kind of see things. And then they also actually have another area that's a little bit higher that you can kind of go stand up and look down into the exhibit. And I want to try to emulate that here. Now, in hindsight, we didn't plan this very well. We've placed our staff building right here. It's not a good place for it. So we may eventually have to move our staff building and repurpose this. But the entire idea behind this series was to become a better Planet Zoo builder, and I'm thinking that's mistakes happen. So we're just going to call a mulligan on quite a few of our changes, and then we'll build it up from here. Now, I was thinking about this. It's easier for us just to say, you know what, hey, screw it. Let's just end this zoo and we'll open up a new one. But I don't want to do that. I've put a lot of time, energy in this. You guys have stayed and watched it, and I'm truly thankful for that. And I feel like that would be an injustice for us just to say, nope, we're done, let's move on. So we're going to keep that in mind. And other things that kind of bother me, these trees actually bother me, because if you look off in the distance, there are a lot of additional Douglas, like fir pine trees and stuff like that. And then here we have elm trees. Maple trees. Doesn't really fit the rest of the border. Well, actually, it's a lie. There's a maple tree right there, but the majority of them are actually going to be fir pine trees. So we may want to go and reconsider the trees we've used. And so it's all these little things that I'm thinking about that kind of make me go back and wonder if maybe I could have done something a little differently. But hey, that's the entire idea behind this. And now that I'm thinking about it, I actually have an idea. So what I might do is build a path up like this over here. We'll have the viewpoint right here, and then they can view this way. But because we're going to build it as an underground rock area, they're actually not going to really see this this building type right here. So that's actually not a bad idea either. So let's focus on that. Now, before we dive into that, I'm just going to unpause it again just a little bit. We need to take a look. We'll take a quick look at our vet research. We are quickly making our way down the reindeer tree. And mechanic research, we're really focusing on getting our aquatic theme, because I have a feeling there's some building objects that I really want to get from this particular area. So we're going to keep our eye on that and really work towards it. I have a feeling that if we had that, it would make our jobs significantly easier. But hey, we can't always win, and the act of building a new exhibit is always going to be a lot of work on the back end. So we're going to utilize our regular, speed build process, and we'll talk more. what? I'm actually quite impressed with this this build. You know, we finally unlocked some of the additional things. So we got the waterfall cliff, which is so much easier than making your own waterfalls. But I'm actually quite happy with this overall exhibit. Is it the best? Is it the best it could be? Probably not. But that being said, I think it is by far one of the cooler exhibits I think I've ever made, and that makes me really happy. I think that this is exactly what we wanted to achieve. We have a little bit more variety, and it just looks so much better than what it was. So we need to do a few things, and I think you would have seen we had to pause for a second. You're gonna wonder what happened. I'm gonna cut out the part that happened at night. So I didn't build anything at night. I just kind of sat and waited for the sun to come back up. So there's that. But the other thing is I released a few of our foxes into the wild, and the intent behind that is to kind of clear up what was happening. So we were becoming overpopulated. The size, it can really only support 10 foxes in this location. And the other really cool thing is I've actually incorporated this. Is it the best path that I made? No, probably not. But we've actually turned this into kind of like a thoroughway. So we have one building that's going to serve as multiple areas. Now, in the future, what do I want to do? I actually want to lift this up, curve this around, and then I'm going to build a third habitat. And I think maybe we'll move our reindeer habitat over here, and we'll improve the overall process. And we'll put them over here and then kind of fill this in, and then create a reindeer habitat, and then maybe redo this and build this into a polar bear habitat. And those will be our 3 iconic species. And maybe even further, we can go one step further and put in an Arctic wolf habitat right here. And so we'll have our nice little Arctic exhibits. But let me know what you think. That's what you think of that plan. But by far, this has to be the absolute best exhibit I've ever made. Now, we're going to hope that our Arctic foxes are actually happy with what's happening here. You can see our keepers are quickly running. Just mad dash to offload some Arctic foxes. Let's see if this worked out. The other thing is we're seeing our reindeer. They're starting to mate and procreate. That's exactly what we wanted to see. The other thing I noticed while I was preparing for this video, we have some bear cubs. In fact, we actually have, if I'm not mistaken, 3 bear cubs, which is really cool. Oh, no, I lied. Only 2 bear cubs. I wonder what happened. They are hungry. We should urgently request a keeper to fix that. But let's take a look. So I think that's enough time for us to get our foxes into the exhibit. Are they going to be happy? We don't know. Yes, they are. Barely enough space for the foxes that we have. We may need to actually reduce the overall amount because we might have run out. The big thing here is I think the water is taking away because it's too deep. They can actually swim through it. It was not the intent, but you know what? Who doesn't like seeing some foxes running about? Here it is. That is not what we wanted to see. We are shortly we're missing 3, so we are going to be a little over. So what we may need to do is we may need to rethink the water feature. I don't know if we can actually take the water out with. Okay, no, we can. All right, let's pull this up just a little bit. We'll see if maybe we can make this work. You would have noticed I actually struggled a little bit in getting enough terrain. You can see there's a little bit of a dip there. I didn't really take into consideration this. So it's a little bit of a downside on my part. We did gain some space out of that, but not enough. So I guess we're just gonna have to manage the population a little bit closer. We can't have a full pack of 10 foxes out and about. But you know what? That's not a bad thing. We actually have we always seem to be running into a situation where we have way too many. In fact, you know what? We have some elderly. Let's see here. Let's rehome this guy. Send him off, to experience what an elderly life for a fox would normally be. We'll also rehome this guy as well. We have another one. We'll rehome. And I think, you know what? I think that's about it. We do have our iconic Arctic wolf as well, Gorfoin, number 13. We actually adopted him from another location to kind of ensure that we had enough genetic diversity. And the other thing that popped up, you would have just seen, is we actually have a bison issue. If I'm not mistaken, we have one too many males. So we do need to fix this up, and the best way to do that is we just need to find the male. There we go. Let's move them to our vet clinic, and that is quarantine. That's not what we wanted. We wanted to move them to the vet clinic, but that's I think that'll be good enough. We need to get them out of the habitat. We can't have more than one male there. But overall, I think this is a pretty good. It's actually multicolored. I was looking up some ways to kind of break up our barriers. Setting up multiple colors really helped out. We have some nice brush going on, and we've populated it. And I have to admit, by far one of my best. Oh look, they're just rolling in the water. That's not normally what I would expect to see. They are a little they're missing some enrichment, so let's see, maybe we can fix this really quickly. We need a sprinkler. Let's put a sprinkler in. That's going to help out. And we need some food enrichment items. I don't know if we have enough. Oh, we have actually a bamboo feeder. This is perfect. This should be it. There we go. That's the perfect exhibit for our Arctic foxes. Can't go wrong with that. So as always, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of this build. Our next goal, and we need to start considering what we're going to do here. In fact, you know what? We will do this. Oh, that's too much. Gone. We have one giant open area to work with. I don't know what we're gonna do here. You know, we definitely have a lot of open area to kind of see what we can do. So let's we'll just flatten this up a little bit, make it nice and neat. We'll get rid of some of our donation boxes, and just like that, we've cleared out our first exhibit. I actually do think that was our first exhibit we ever built. So I think this is a momentous occasion for us to figure what we're gonna do next. But as always, feel free to leave a comment. Let me know what you thought of the build. Let me know if you have any other ideas. Let me know what you feel, how you feel I could have improved this, or if there's a way I can make this better. I'm always open for some additional feedback. And if you're feeling up to it, feel free to subscribe. It lets me know I'm doing a good job, and I do appreciate that. And that's it for now, everybody. Ciao for now.